Join the Twitchiest community $500 cash giveaway, guys, by using the link in the description down below. One grand prize winner will win $500, and 3 second place winners will go away with a Monstercat Battle Pass. So check it out in the description down below, and the winners will be picked on June 30th. So stay tuned for the winners. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your tier solo guide. We're going to be starting off with, of course, Bluestone Bandit, and I'm going to be getting myself a chalice of healing as well as a 4 multi-pot. You don't actually need the Hand of the Gods on the tier solo because you actually have 2 abilities at the start, which means you can proc Bluestone twice, which really helps you to actually clear that buff, hopefully before missing any lane minions, which means you can get away with going some multi-pots as well for the additional sustain in lane. So we will be starting off with our 2 as our first ability. This is also typically the ability that we are going to max out first in lane. The reason why we max this out first is because of the sustain in the guard stand. If we were in the jungle, you would actually max out the 1 first. You'd be maxing out that Fearless, going for the extra damage there. But in the solo lane, you're basically just going for a really annoying poke and sustain. So I'm actually going to wait for him to summon a couple of his guys. Double auto, wait for him to summon his guys again. Boom. Hit him with the second round of this. And that clear should be plenty fast for us to get to lane. I don't even think I'm going to have to use my blink here to get credit for that minion. And I will not, which is fantastic. So we're against an Arthur in lane, which is good. This is a pretty typical lane that you're going to run into. I did get level 2 first, so I'm trying to press my luck here a little bit. The first solo laner to get level 2 should kind of, you know, get a little bit audacious in the lane. But my main priority is going to be just to get rid of all of these creeps because the archers hit really hard early, particularly in this Bluestone meta. Now here at level 3, I'm going to do something that you don't see a whole lot. I'm actually going to grab a point in my 3. Your 3 on tier nowadays gives you 18 power if you're in your assault stance and 18 protections if you're in your defense stance. So I actually like to get 1 point in it. I find that it gives you a lot of damage slash defenses. So I think the value is there to get that 1 point. Of course, focusing on the wave, which is gonna let me get this Arthur real low just by clearing the wave before him. So tier right now is widely considered one of the best solo laners. Not quite as good as like a Arthur Wukong. I would say that those are probably slightly above his station, but I'm actually going to go quite aggressive right now onto this Arthur because I got that early pressure, and we're going to be able to get that first blood or first blooded. Once you get down the enemy to give or take 40% HP, if you've got your full combo up, you can probably be looking for those kills, and you can see my HP is going to go right back up, just utilizing that power cleave for the sustain. So Arthur and Wukong are probably the number 1 and number 2 solo laners right now. You'll also see a good amount, Wukong's probably actually number 3. It's probably Arthur and Kukulin. But you'll also see a good amount of Wukong, a good amount of tier popping up over there in the solo lane. So he is very, very viable right now. I do think he's also viable in the jungle, and I don't think we probably see enough tier in the jungle, but I do think he is a better solo laner than a jungler. So for that official leveling order, it is going to be 4. We level up our ultimate first because it gives us not just damage, but also CDR. Then we're going to level up our 2. This 2 is for that sustain in the lane. We take a bunch of poke, and it really doesn't end up mattering that much because we have ourselves a bunch of sustain from our 2. Then we level up the 1, and finally leveling up that 3. We want to get that 1 point in the 3, like I said, to get those raw 18 stats right off the bat. But after you start doing that, it's only 8 points per level, which means it becomes way less important. That's why we get that 1 point there, and then nothing else. I am going to go a Stone of Gaia this game. Stone of Gaia is probably the most common solo laner item right now. And also in this particular match, it is going to be quite good. Arthur's got a knock up, Soul's got a knock up, Chiron's got a knock up. So a lot of potential knock ups for me here in tier, just to give me that extra Stone of Gaia proc. I also really like the Breastplate of Valor on the tier early, give you those physical defenses, some mana, but most importantly that CDR, so you can just be spamming your abilities, which is quite nice. Now that tier is going to be going all spin to win, I'm going to focus less on him, more on this wave, just because it's going to be pretty hard for me to actually hit him with some of those knockups. Now I'm going to give myself a little bit more damage in this fight. I don't have to be that scared. I've got my Health Chalice proccing. I've got my multi-pot, so I can go pretty aggressive on this right now. I'm just gonna start running at the Camazotz. My 2 will do plenty of damage. Not if I don't hit it because he jumps away. But I'm just gonna keep chasing this Camazotz. Like, I'm not gonna let this go for free. I'm gonna get pretty greedy here. I'm gonna try to get another 2 off. Now I've got a full wave, which means I can use it for the sustain. And you can see I'm already basically back to full HP. Between these reinforced greaves and the HP 5 that I have, I do have a lot of good fight potential. Unfortunately, Arthur does have his ulti up twice in one fight, which is a little awkward. But I'm going to switch over. I'm going to time my ultimate to try to land right when the Camazotz was landing. And that's going to give us that kill onto that Camazotz. So this is why we leveled the 2 first on tier. You can see a ridiculous amount of sustain that is coming out of that ability. And the jungle, it's not as important because we're just looking for the damage on the ganks. But in the solo lane, that's kind of what makes tier a strong solo laner right now, is the fact that he just gets to sit there and he gets to sustain and sustain and sustain. And if you've got health pots and multi-pots, then it just makes it that much worse. Lord forbid I get myself that Stone of Gaia online. Woo, baby. Now, another thing we should mention about the solo lane is the totem. The totem should never be your priority if there is XP on the board. So what I'm saying by that is, if there is a camp that you can do to get some experience in gold, that should always be your priority as a solo laner. Don't put a high priority onto the totem. It's kind of the thing that you do if there's nothing else to do. And also, you should put a higher priority on it in the very early stages of the game compared to the later stages of the game. The reason why that is because it's going to give your team some nice flat MP5. That MP5 tends to be quite helpful for your mid laner in your duo lane within the first like 5 minutes of the game. But once you start getting later in the game, that MP5 starts to mean less and less and less because the early mana consumption starts to go away. Even in SPL, you'll see like maybe the totem dies like 7 times in a game or something. They're not like doing it on cooldown every minute. It'll die like every other minute kind of thing when there's no more farm on the board. So tier is all about the wombo combo. So traditionally on tier, as a solo laner, you're going to be starting off in your assault stance. That is your orange stance. Your abilities will switch colors when you're in the other stance. So orange means I'm in my assault stance. You're going to use your 1 right into your 2. Now you want to follow up with the 2 after you get the second hit on the 1. It's going to be kind of hard to show on the Arthur, but 1, 2, boom. So you want to wait until after you get that full 1-2 damage off. And then you want to press your 2. If you press it too early, you'll actually interrupt yourself right on out of your Fearless, and you won't get the double hit. So you want to make sure you get both hits on your Fearless before you press your 2. Then you're gonna traditionally stance switch right over to your guard stance. This is good for 2 reasons. 1, you're gonna be able to follow up with the next round of abilities. But 2, you're also gonna have more defenses now because you get those bonus defenses, of course, from your guard stance. So you traditionally want to be ending in that stance while you're just kind of walking around, not necessarily hitting anybody. compared to the other way around. So start with power if you can, end with your protections. So every time he's gonna go for that spin, there's not gonna be anything I can do about it. Now I do need to be careful. I've got my Totem of Ku proccing, which is nice. I'm gonna go for a little heal of it. I gotta try to ulti away. Unfortunately, what a well-timed. That was a very well-timed Ares ulti right there. I might be able to get away still, just because I've got tank boots. But you can see right there what I was trying to do is I was trying to wait on the Ares ulti before I used mine so I could use the CC immunity. But Ares waited such a long time that if I didn't use it, I probably would have just sat there and died. Anyway, very good play from that Ares. Well, luckily, I'm a tier, so between my Son of Gaia and my 2, I'm basically already back to full HP, and I can just dive right back at this tier. We love Stone of Gaia sustain. For my next item, where we're going to be looking at the enemy team comp, for the third item, you almost always want to look at the enemy's composition and try to just build something that would be good against their comp specifically. So in this game, they are running 1, 2, 3 physicals, 2 magicals. One of those magicals is a Guardian with the Ares. So I am going to focus onto that physical defense. Now, a lot of times on tiers, you'll also see a lot of movement speed built. Wingblade, I think it's a fantastic item on tier. I don't necessarily think you have to go these like 3 blade builds. I don't think that they're absolutely necessary on tier. I do love the Wingblade, and I think you should basically always get Wingblade on tier. But the builds that have like the Relic daggers and the Witchblades and the Wingblades, I actually do think that's a little overkill. And you can just get some other items to help out your team, like a Void Shield or something, or maybe get yourself some more CDR for more abilities, whatever it may be. So I'm gonna take myself this game into an early Wingblade here third, just because they've also got a good amount of slows on their team, which you can see they've got the Ares slow on the chains, they've got the Soul 2, they've got the Gamazon 2, they've got all sorts of slows on the team. Chiron, Arthur, I think they've got at least 5 slows on their team. So we're gonna get that early Wingblade just to help us kind of get around in these team fights. The reason why you end up getting so much movement speed on tier, even at a minimum with just the boots and the Wingblade, is because you're trying to get yourself in position in order to land that fearless on those backline targets. The more movement speed you have, the easier it is to get behind them and push them towards your team, right? So that's why you end up getting a lot of movement speed traditionally on tier. Also, tier just tends to be kind of squirrely, and with the sustain that you have on your 2, a little bit of movement can go a long way for just keeping yourself alive. I'm gonna follow up immediately on this with my 1, so I'm just gonna hit him with a little follow-up CC, switch on over, try to hit him with another little 2-1 combo here. Oh, it was a really good Emoja 3 if I would have actually, you know, been following up on it, but I didn't see that one coming, so I didn't. A little bit of lag right there for our... That Ares is gonna be a little convenient. I think I should be able to get the Salt. No, I just couldn't quite reach him. I'm gonna keep diving through for him just to see if I can reach him. I don't have my Wingblade on yet, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to, but at least we could kill the tier right there. And I should be able to get out of this one, even if it's a little annoying. Your middle tower. Really wish I had my Wingblade right now. I really, really wish I had my Wingblade right now. Just gonna slide to the left, slide to the right. Do a juke now, y'all. 1 dodge this time. Ooh. All right. So yeah. So our overall build idea on tier is basically cooldown, movement speed, kind of annoying. That's kind of the theme that you are going with on tier. For our second active here, we do have options. I personally don't love the beads on tier, but in this particular match, I am going to go ahead and grab that. And the reason why I'm going to get it is because they do have a Ares, and I don't want to be forced into constantly using my ultimate in order to stop the Ares ulti. Especially because Ares has chains, which is cripples, which stops me from using most of my abilities on Ares, and the pull is going to be a very easy follow-up for him. So I am forced into the beads. I would much prefer to have the Sunder. I love Sunder on my solo lane. I would say Sunder Blink is pretty typical, but every once in a while you do have to get the beads, particularly when you're against gods like Ares, or even for a tier like an RDO. Oftentimes you're gonna have to get the beads against those very big cripple appliers. Are not gonna be the easiest for you. So as far as our matchups for tier and lane, there's really not a horrible matchup. I would say RDO is probably the worst generic matchup, but then you're against a Guardian and solo, and that's actually good for your team as a whole. I actually think RDO as a support, Ares as a support is much more annoying for you. As a tier, you can basically expect just to be against other meta solo laners, so I would be a little bit careful when you're going against the Arthurs, the Cucullins of the world, because they're going to be able to exert just as much pressure as you, particularly against the Cucullin. Just be really careful when he's about to get that level 2. I'm going to keep my pressure over here in the solo lane. I've got my Stone of Gaia proc if they try to knock me up, or I can walk right into my own Yamoja 3 and proc my own Stone of Gaia. That is actually hilarious. I didn't even know that's how that worked, but now that I think about it, it makes perfect sense. So right now I'm going to stay in my guard stance. I'm just going to be kind of walking at the Arthur right now. Unfortunately, our Yamoja is going to go down, so I'm going to switch this over to the Ares as soon as his little flame is done right there. Reminder that Ares is knockback immune inside of his flame, so you got to be careful there. And now enemies are coming, so we should probably retreat. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to tank this tower. It looks like we already got creeps here. Don't even have to tank the tower. I actually might be able to stay, get a little greedy here, and just do away with the tower altogether and go for a little bit more farm back here while the rest of my team is playing the runaway game. Oh, look at that little blue buff for. So there's really no big problems in the actual laning phase for tier. In general, the only thing you're looking out for is just cripples. Cripples are going to be the bane of your existence. So whether that be RDO or Ares or whatever, it doesn't matter where the source of the cripple is coming from. All cripples are hard for tier because then it screws up your 1-2 combo. I'm just gonna kind of run around right now. This is what you're gonna do a lot on tier. You just kind of do this thing where you're not really fighting and you're not really running away. You're just trying to get people to use abilities on you. And that's why that movement speed ends up being such a crucial part of our kit, because we're just kind of running around them in circles looking for some opportunities. Meanwhile, Ares is just gonna walk over and kind of chains me over and over again, so I'm gonna bring myself over to the wave so I can use this 2 for the heal. We will end up with some pretty decent damage on tier, but not until we get really our blue stone online. Once we get that blue stone upgraded, tier damage becomes quite good because you've got those 4 abilities that are all going to be proccing the blue stone over and over again. Don't mind me, just trying to get some farm while we're just kind of sitting over here waiting, not doing too much. Kama's here. I'm gonna go look right at him. How about that? So I hit him with my full combo. I'm gonna save my 1 right now just so I can use it to kind of get away from this Arthur. Kama is still around. I'm gonna ulti back into this. He is very low. I think I'll probably be able to grab that kill. I will be able to. I'm gonna push Arthur towards my tower. I've got the beads if I need it for the Ares ult. So without the beads right there, I would have had to been even more careful. I'm gonna try to blink right onto the soul, push him back towards my team. Right there, gotta push him right back towards the lane. And hopefully we can follow up on him with enough damage. Oh, he got just knocked out of the emoji. Oh, this is a little bit awkward. Gonna switch onto the Ares right now, push him into the tower towards my team. Maybe we can go ahead and finish him. Looks like we will be able to. And that was just the kind of the idea of tier. That is basically the general gist of what you're looking to do on tier in those team fights. You're running around, you're being annoying, you're forcing beads, that kind of stuff. And later on with our bluestone being finished, we will also be doing quite a lot of damage. So I'm gonna grab myself this Breastplate of Valor, give myself 20% CDR. I'm also gonna get myself a Genji's Guard this game. I think there's honestly a lot of good items in the slot. I like the Genji's Guard for even more CDR. I find that to be quite annoying. You could go more movement speed, whether that's a Shield of Regrowth from your 2 proc, whether that is a Witchblade for the anti-attack speed, a Relic Dagger, so you get your beads and your blink up more often, plus you get the movement speed from that. Whether it is a Talisman of Energy, another way to get more movement speed, plus some magical defenses, plus it's a generically good item for your team. A Void Shield, if they're really, really heavy into the physical, maybe they're rocking 4 physicals, you've got a whole lot of good quality selections, and I think that you should be looking at them in each game. It's just gonna depend on the exact composition that you're going against, will depend on the exact build that you want to run, but those are all good items you should keep in mind. So right now my biggest concern is keeping the Fire Giant warded and getting to level 20 ASAP. They've got a quite large lead on us. So I can expect them to be looking for a pick off or 2 and then trying to get themselves into that Fire Giant. So I'm going to start rotating right now. And I'm going to try to see if I can't help get my team a little bit more back in this.
Gank.
Gonna walk kind of right at the mid lane. I know the Arthur isn't here. I've got to be careful, though. They could have
your right tower is under attack.
This warded. Arthur wants to go for me. That's fine. He's already going to proc my Stone of Gaia. I'm just going to keep doing this. You see what I'm doing? I'm not right next to them. I'm just kind of bringing them around. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. That's just the idea there of the tier. Go in, be a little annoying, dash away over and over and over. Now we don't have our Cern with us, so that is concerning. Ares uses his ulti. I want to go in on this and help, but that's going to be a lot of damage very fast. And our Cern isn't even here. And they've got a Chiron that was shoving the mid lane, and I don't know if he is still shoving the mid lane. He is.
Middle lane.
So we need to go stop him from getting this tower for free. I'm going to do a little blink. Gonna force a bead right there on the Chiron. And hopefully we can follow up and grab a quick kill right here while our Cern is shoving the other lane. I assume he's gonna try to dash away. There it is. Now I'm gonna try to follow up on that dash. He uses his cleanse. I know that his beads are already down. That should be enough to grab that kill. I'm gonna switch my target onto the Camelot. I know his ultimate is down because he used it earlier. Finally finishing up with the Ares. Ooh, but he actually picked up my speed buff. Wow, he's fast. Look at him go. I'm a speedy boy. For him to be this fast, he is fast. Whoa. Okay, also he's lagging, which is, you know, gonna help him a lot. That's not just regular speed. That enhanced speed right there. Okay. As we say at my hometown. Okay. Very convenient lag, as they say. All right. Now we got level 19. We're going to be finishing up that blue zone ASAP as soon as Tier lets me back. All right, Tier's not going to let me back, so I'm just going to go ahead and give up on that one. I'm just going to stick around until I get level 20 and back up and grab that blue zone.
Defend left lane. Your left tower.
Now, we don't have a ward anymore on fire, so we've got to be super careful about this rotation.
Your left tower has been destroyed.
Looks like Soul might have back. At this point, the Fire Giant should be warded 100% of the time. After the 15-minute marker, the Fire Giant is liable to go down at basically any time. So I'm just going to back up. I'm going to buy a Genji's Guard. I didn't end up sticking around until level 20. So I'm just going to buy my Genji's Guard. I feel like I can get near 1,000 gold by the time I end up backing up again to actually finish that blue zone.
Your right tower is under attack.
As far as gods that we like to pair with Tier on our team, we're just looking for any sort of follow-up. Tier's gonna provide a lot of setup. He can provide peel. You can peel pretty decently. But most of the time as a Tier solo, you're gonna be responsible for starting off fights, right? You're gonna be blinking into the back of fights. You're gonna be forcing those beads, and you're gonna be running around the hunter and the mage and that kind of stuff, distracting them. trying to get them off of your carries. Speaking of distracting and trying to get them off my carries, I wanted to go in pretty hard right there, but the Ares is going to keep me out. I do have a sentry ward. Gonna try to get in on this fight, maybe put that sentry a little bit farther away so they can't auto attack it. There's a party coming middle. I'm gonna try to let my Cernanos know. He probably should have known. I don't think he was paying enough attention to the mini map during that fight. And now we are actually in kind of a hard spot. I'm gonna try to switch over to my guard stance, see if I can't go heal off of these in lane creeps a little bit. Otherwise, my minions, so my minions might kill most of them, but. There we go. Now I need to get in this fight right away, so I'm just gonna blink right on in. Unfortunately, Soul is gonna become CC immune right as I go in. Really unfortunate timing right there. And at this point, we need to just go ahead and back up. Let whoever is gonna die, and get ourselves out of this one. So the biggest issues right now, generally, is just positioning of the team. Our Cernanos was out of position. He got himself caught. That pick means they go right up to Fire Giant, and then they get pretty much a free fire because they had already picked our Cern, and they already had a pretty solid little lead. So I'm gonna continue to position myself kind of near the Chiron, kind of near the Soul. There we go. Gonna force a little beads right there out of the Chiron. Not a horrible situation. Should only lose one Phoenix right now as well. Switch over to my guard stance for a little bit of sustain. Arthur is diving all the way into our Titan room. And he really should be punished for that. He has to use his beads. I should be able to knock him right into the corner, and Cernanos should be able to finish that kill, no problem.
I'll defend left lane.
Okay. There we go. No problem. Just like I said. I'm going to try to get in towards the back line. There's a Chiron here. Unfortunately, I know that he's in his ulti, so I can't CC him. I'm going to try to run away. I'm going to let it hit me. I think my Cern's going to get pulled as well, so I don't actually mind getting pulled that much. I'm going to go towards the Chiron. I know that his beats are down. Try to distract him from our Phoenix. Our Phoenix is very low, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get them off of all of this. Somebody else just accidentally fat finger their beads. That's kind of nice for us. But luckily my beads are still up, so I can use my beads right here. I'm just gonna bring myself back through the wall and get out. So you can see why Tier is so annoying. It's just very slippery. He runs around, he does good damage. He pops a lot of beads. Unfortunately, right now the team is just too far behind. They need to finish out, get those level 20s before you have a chance in these team fights. Now we're gonna finish up with that bluestone. Keep buying ourselves some wards. And we're probably just gonna have to try to defend out at our right-hand side Phoenix, so we're gonna get the mid and left push up as much as we can while we're waiting. So in this situation, basically, my Cernanos, my Nezha, my Morgana Yamoja should all basically be grouped, trying to keep each other alive. And it's my job to keep the biggest damage dealers off of them. So I'm gonna be focusing on the Chiron and the Soul, and just trying to keep them outside of the distance of hitting on my carries. Trying to make it a 4v3 for my team, so they can 4v3 against the Arthur, Ares, Camazotz, and then I just have to trust that they can win that 4v3. If they can't, it is what it is. But that's what you're trying to do on the solo lane in general.
Your right tower is under attack. Right tower.
Okay, quickly cleared mid. If I was them, I would shove down left immediately, or right immediately. Looks like they're going to. So I'm going to try to get right in on this so we can try to defend this. A really good Cernanos ult. I'm going to follow up. Looks like we're going to get those Chiron beads again. I'm actually going to ulti back into the fight. Just keep trying to zone out everybody. Our Phoenix is still alive. Kama is going to have to ulti out as well. Ares ult. We've got an Arthur way in the back right now. I'm just trying to keep them off of our Phoenix. If we can keep this Phoenix alive, we're not in the worst spot that we could be in. Try to use my sustain off of those minions. Try to keep my movement a little fluid between the Stone of Gaia procs and the Wingblade procs. Hopefully it's enough. That's a really good Yamoja ult, and I should be able to follow up with a 4-man tier 1. And that's gonna be a huge huge turnaround potential right there for us. Massive play. We need to defend the Titans. I'm going to call for defend the Titans. Somebody needs to go back there. I should be able to finish off this tier, hopefully with all my bluestone procs. Dang, I'm not going to be able to. Really unfortunate. Now we just need to defend the middle and the right lanes. And as long as we get our Phoenixes back up,
Phoenix is under attack.
our Titan will heal back up, and that damage that it took won't be a big deal at all, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna go shove out left lane, and we do need to get wards around the fire giant as well. Phew.
Be right back.
So at this point, I need to shove out left lane all the way. And I can't really rotate over until all of these fire creeps are gone because our Titan's at half HP, which means we need that third Phoenix. So we got to be very careful. Luckily, as tier, if they all try to collapse on me, I have an okay chance at getting away. But if I was them, I would go full commit to that fire giant.
Enemies at the fire giant.
It is the enhanced fire, and I don't have a choice but to keep shoving out this left lane so we can get that Titan HP back. Alright. That was the last wave of fire creeps. Now we need to get defensive wards out. We need to get vision all around in our jungle so we can see them coming. And we need to try to force another good fight underneath our Phoenixes.
Yeah, that'll do.
Look to see how the main damage is. Their main damage right now is Soul. So I will probably try to prioritize her over Chiron just a little bit if I can. If I was them, I would go for the farthest Phoenix. So I'm going to get a deep ward out over there as well. And I'm just going to be looking to see if I can find anybody that's just a little bit too far forward. Looks like Kama is here. I don't know if there's anybody else here, but perhaps we can get a quick pick onto the Camazons. Would be huge. That's massive for us. That's going to buy us a lot of time getting that Kama off the board. Now they've only got 4 people with enhanced fire, and if they want to wait a full minute for him, that just takes a full minute off of their fire giant. Also, if we can find them even farther pushed up, we might actually be able to win a fight right now. They don't have their Chiron with them, so I am diving right back into the soul like I said I would. Gonna use my ulti for the CC immunity. I'm gonna push him right back towards my team with the Arthur. Chiron is all the way over on that right-hand side. I'm gonna try to back up so I can go defend that right lane before hopefully Chiron actually ends up getting anything. Looks like I will be able to make it over here, but just not quite in time because stupid hunters and their stupid split push. I'm gonna tell the team just to go shove middle lane. My goal is not even necessarily to fight him here. It's just to stop him from backing towards my team. But I have unfortunately misplaced the Chiron, so I'm just gonna back up and go defend up right lane again. Hey, he actually stayed. This is fantastic.
Ultimate is down.
He stayed to stop me from going somewhere, but this is great because I got to keep him here. Unless he's gonna try to go for that mid Phoenix? Oh my god, he might go for the mid Phoenix. That would be a disaster. Nope. We got ourselves a mid Phoenix. Woohoo! Don't mind me, just distracting. So I don't want to get too close to the Chiron because he can just probably kill me at this point. Unless I've got all my abilities up, which I might be able to do now. Because now I'm going to get a lot of good procs on him, and my team is on their way. That's a beach forest. He has his dash soon, but I'm going to push him right into the wall. We're going to be able to grab that kill. There goes all their enhanced fires. We lose a Phoenix, but they lost a Phoenix. Great trade for us. Now I'm going to sell my boots right here, and I'm going to get myself a Relic Dagger. Relic Dagger going to cap me out on that 40% CDR. Give me a little bit more movement speed. that cooldown reduction on my relics here at the end stages of the game. And of course, I just get a little bit more movement overall with the combination of the elixir of speed now acting as my boots. So we are gonna have to push out right lane quite hard. They've got to defend middle lane. We've got to defend right. That's slightly actually in favor of us, which is nice. Because we are gonna be a little bit closer to the fire giant, which is where the next fight is probably gonna break out. They have a decent sized Raven left, but it's not fire creeps or anything. So all we need to do is group up and look for a fight and keep our eyes out for the Chiron, who has kind of been split pushing all game. There's an Arthur back here. He is quite alone. I don't really care for the Arthur, but it would be nice to try and find somebody else to maybe pick off. Chiron's over in the mid lane. He might try to come right through here afterwards. He's going to see if we can't get a little damage on him. We love all that blue stone damage that we're getting. He's gonna dash away. I might be able to actually walk right back towards him. He's gonna ward right there. Now I just gotta be careful with the Ares. Kama's coming this way. See if I can't get a little Kama action going. And then I've got to ulti myself out of this one. They were using a lot to try to get to me. And we will get a pick. I'm gonna head back over to the right lane. We've got those fire creeps we need to continue to deal with. I'm just gonna heal myself up a little bit.
On my way. Ultimate is down.
You can see that we don't need to actually have any damage items in order to do good damage to these backline characters. All we gotta do is utilize our blue stone procs.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
Now we don't have great fire giant secure here. I'm gonna start it up. Does our Cernanos have crit? Our Cernanos does not have crit, so we actually need to turn and fight this. We can't just sit here and do it. They've got better secure than we do, so we need to full commit to the fight. Our Cernanos is staying on the fire giant, so we actually have to go back and try to do it now. Luckily, we are gonna get it. Gonna put my pressure back onto the Chiron, pop my beats, so I can actually stick next to the Chiron and the Soul over here. Use my dash to get a little bit closer. I'm gonna end up stance switching right here. Ooh, I actually get put in combat by this Ares, and that might finally be the death of me. I got a nice wing blade proc, got my blink back open, and imagine dying on tier. Wouldn't be me, but somebody's got to go deal with all of these creeps. We got 2 of them dead, which is their 2. Oh, we got 3 of them dead. We actually might be able to end the game here. I'm just gonna make sure those creeps don't do anything crazy, but we got all 5 of us. We got the enhanced fire, 50 seconds and all those death timers. I think we can just walk down and kind of end the game. So a really good legendary Mojo kind of tier 1 combo at that right side Phoenix. Ended up saving this game for us. We got everybody up to level 20. People finally got to finish their starter items. And we get to put this game away. Tier 5, 0, and 12. You don't die a whole lot on tier if you're building him properly because you're just so fast, guys. You get to be super annoying for the enemy team, force a lot of beats. You do a decent amount of damage even though you're not actually going to be building any damage items. I would say our 2 biggest mistakes that game was 1, general positioning. Some of our boys were out of position. And 2, that last fire giant that we did not need to YOLO that fire giant. They have better secure with the solo. So what we should have done is just reset for the full fight, but a couple people stayed on fire, so then we had to commit to it and get it. Luckily, we did get it, but we did not necessarily need to YOLO 50-50 that fire giant, guys. But that is your tier solo guy. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.